Okay, this is a fun one, and I hope you appreciate its power in a portfolio. What we're teaching right now is the boss button. Now, what this is it's sort of a humorous thing, and it started with CBS Sportsline. CBS, who does March Madness, which, if you didn't know, it's college basketball, and they have a big tournament every year, and it's the most called-in sick day of the year for American corporations. And basically it works like this. Let's say you're watching a game. Voila, you got the spotlight here or whatever. And you go back, and let's say your boss walks behind you while you're watching sports. You can click the boss button, and whammo, it looks like you're building a PowerPoint. So what they do is they create backup slides for whatever you're doing, so that you can go back to the boss button and go back here. So the boss button says your boss is behind you. Here's the home page for the boss button. Enter your fake web search here. Hit that. And they made it an art form. It's actually really funny. So Minneapolis spring break trips. So there you go. Automatic, fake. Bring your parka. So it's meant to be humorous. So if we go back to boss button, we see this. So it came up in a discussion in the first running of this course how, having something like this in your portfolio is a way to separate yourself from other applicants. And you've got to rethink about how this is going to go down when you get your job. Usually a human resources representative will call you and ask you for an initial interview in which you'll be filtered out, or filtered in, as it were. And usually they ask open-ended questions because human resources directors generally don't know development that well. So the concept is to create methods of separation, and this is one of those methods that can separate you from other applicants. So the HR representative might say something like, tell me about coding, what's your passion? And you might say, I really like coding for just odd things. And one thing I found familiar that I think is kind of humorous you might want to see, this is a boss button. So let's talk about our specific boss button. It's pretty simple. Basically, we can reload the page. And when I hit the enter key, which you can't see obviously, but I'm hitting enter key now, and what it does is it relocates you immediately to this page, Best Boss Ever coffee mug. Okay, and it's huge. So the boss would walk behind and see this, but it's a really simple logic, and the boss button is actually your enter key. So you can create a boss button however you'd like, but right now I'm hitting this. Okay, so basically, let's go back. I'm going to go to the boss button itself, and this is the boss button. And this is right now inside your modules. It's the boss TXT, and I've put another version here that you can play with, but I'll put the one that you see in the video. And what it is basically creating some sort of listener for some specific element. So, for example, this is pretty easy to work with right here, but we're saying if add event listener key up. So every time there's a key up, we're going to listen to that event. So if I console.log the event, which is that argument, and granted this is not ES6, I don't have the Windows, the arrow syntax or anything like that, but what I do have is, going back, I can look at the dev tools, which I will open up for you, and we can hit enter here, and remember it's on key up, so I'm hitting a W key here. So see key W, key E, key R, key E, etc. So the boss button is this. If enter key is 13, then all I say is, well, if event.keycode is 13, then the window location equals the best boss mug. So, for you to utilize this, you can do something really simple, like something like button on click equals boss button. Just do boss button like this, and you do this and just have boss button like that. Just do what you know from WebD 170 if you've taken it. And then down here, what we could do is just take this out, and I'll leave the event listener up there for the enter key, because that's usually what most people like, and I'll have a little function here called boss button. Oh, let me make sure it's camel cased, and then all we'll do is this. We'll just have window.location equals this. I mean, it's pretty easy to work with. So the idea is you come up with what you want to do, but the event listener, so here's this right here, and we do boss button, and whammo goes to Amazon.com. So the idea is you create you. You do what you do. And, moving forward in this course, there's going to be 404 pages. There's the dynamic validation form. There's the zip code populator. But just methods in interviews to separate yourself from other people. And I hope you can appreciate that. Because I think it works. Because if you think about experience, you just need enough to get into that HR interview. And once you go in there, you'll be trained to hopefully nail it, so to speak. And when I see someone with a good boss button or a good 404 page that's humorous, I generally want to see a little bit more of them and see what they can offer. Because A, they love coding, they love the idea of it, and B, they have a sense of humor. And those are all great things to have in the workplace.